I love that shit. Yo. Good morning, People's Rebuttal. And welcome to another amazing episode of the People's Rebuttal Podcast. Good morning, all.
Always trying to be amazing.
Good morning.
We got Mr. Vaughn. He making a bagel right now, so please hold for Vaughn.
Not a baby, but a bagel.
A bagel. Yeah. I don't know. He may have somebody there making a baby.
Hey.
I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, man, it's good to see us this morning. It's good to see all our listeners. I just love partaking in conversations with y'all guys, man. Oh, yes.
All
right. Until Vaughn come, man, topic for the day, man, just news around.
News and craziness, man. Did you watch anything about the subway shooting in New York?
I never really got into it. I had a very busy week. I did see clips and I heard about it.
What'd you hear about it?
So I heard about the shooting, 14, 15 shot, something of that nature.
No, 30-something shot.
30-something shot?
Wow. No, but did you see the how he did it?
I didn't. I heard about the
dude got on the train and set off smoke bombs and started shooting people.
Now, was it on the train or on the platform?
Nope, on the train.
On the
you ain't going nowhere. You up in a train right at this point.
Wow.
He let off smoke bombs and it didn't. My understanding, he didn't even kill anybody. He's a horrible shot. How a mass shooting that injured at least 23 people occurred with no deaths? You ain't very good, dude.
I don't know if it was an intent to kill. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? And again, you got to understand, I always speak from a psychological aspect.
You never know.
You know, man, as well, mentally, psychologically, this world is in shambles, man. And
New York, I mean, they're just letting them do whatever they want out there. I mean, obviously, you going to jail for this one.
Yeah, but I mean, think about okay, say New York. They were one, and this is just my thoughts. They were one of the biggest cities on the shutdown, on the deaths from COVID, things of that nature.
Morning, Michael.
And so I wonder, the psychological effects of just being locked up. It was always a crazy city, so they really had to change their whole lifestyle from being outgoing fast to nothing. You know what I'm saying? Times Square empty, Madison Square Garden and the train station empty. You know what I'm saying? They got to stay in the house. And now all those psychological aspects coming out that, where they had to adjust their minds. And a lot of people don't have that talent.
So that's a good question. Do you think that it was wrong just to literally shut down the entire United States? Because basically that's what we did. We shut down the entire United States. Mm-hmm. Do you think that was a good thing or a detriment?
It's hard to kind of say good or bad, detriment for me from a psychological aspect.
Did you keep working?
I did. I was essential.
Yeah.
I was essential. I was still out there every day.
Going at it
in people's homes. You know what I'm saying? I think it was the confusion of it all. And what I mean by that is okay, so we go from living every day our lives as we've done our whole lives to, okay, stop. Right. And the reason for the stop, it was so much confusion. And what is COVID and how do you cure it? And where did it come from? And you know what I'm saying? It was just so much confusion. I think the whole world was more impacted by the confusion of what was going on.
I'm fucking garbage, man.
More of the simple fact of the country shut down.
Well, I think we can't hear you, Mr. Vaughn. And we're live, by the way, just so you know. We let everybody know you were making a bagel.
So low.
What's going on, guys?
I think we have a few years to figure out. I mean, to whether we're going to see if it was a detriment, how much of a detriment it was.
Mm-hmm.
Vaughn been making a bagel. We can't hear you, Vaughn. Just
You
so you
can't?
know.
No.
Really?
I'll put my hand up when I can hear you.
Yeah. So
I'm not
in
sure why
regards
you
to the
can't hear.
detriment part, I look at it. I'll give you an example. It's kind of like getting a bad injury, a scrape on your arm, right? So you get the injury, you're bleeding, and all this kind of shit.
When you shatter your shoulder in 28
check.
pieces and you don't know until you're 40 something that your grandparents
Can-
weren't lying when the weather changes, crap starts
Mike,
hurting.
you can hear me?
Now that part, like we're as human beings, we want to see it. You know what I'm saying? We want to see it. So this is like you can actually see the scab.
Wait a minute. Michael can?
Yeah,
Vaughn, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I can't hear you.
I don't know why
Good
you
morning,
can't hear me.
Mike.
I don't know why you can't hear me. They can.
Okay. But while we get this technical situation resolved,
Try that now.
Mic check.
There we
Hey.
go. Good
Hey.
morning, Von Solo.
Good morning, baby. Good morning,
morning,
goddammit.
people's rebuttal.
Sorry,
In the
man. I
building.
had to get my
Your bagel on.
yeah, just a little bit.
Um,
You know, I'm you don't like me when I'm angry.
hangry.
Yeah, man. I wasn't in a good position. So no. My medicine was kicking in.
There you go.
I think we have I mean, we're going to start seeing it more and more, the detriment of people who were, I mean, obviously you got pansies out there that were at home crying and, you know, the world was falling apart, you know, because they couldn't, you know, be with their friends and everything else. And, you know, I believe in a leveled reaction. And I think the original reaction was fine.
The original reaction.
Right. Lock everything down.
Okay.
Because we didn't know enough about it.
Yes.
But to spend months and years and everything else as part of that, there was your detriment. It was correct to lock it down, say we, you know, give us 30 days, let us figure this out, and then slowly move out. I mean, but we still haven't. I mean, we haven't, for the most part, kind of moved out of it. Most mask mandates, even New York's mask mandate, even going to school. I thought it was funny. I saw an older lady and a kid who was, you know, wearing a school shirt from a school we know very well. And she had her mask all the way on. He had a mask on, and it was from here down. It was like, I was sitting there looking like, you know, what's the point of wearing a mask if you're not going to put it on your face? But, you know, back when Texas went no mask and you didn't have to have a mask, and I went into Walmart, if I saw a bunch of people wearing a mask, I'm going to put a mask on. Out of just respect, I'm going to put a mask on. I never understood the people arguing about wearing masks. Put a damn mask on. I know you don't like it, but if you know, if it makes another person feel, now don't get me wrong, if it's one person out of 100 wearing a mask, and be like, yeah, I'm not putting on a mask. But if more than 50% people that I go in someplace, more than 50% people got masks on, I'm gonna put a mask on.
Word.
Yeah.
I think it's just conforming the rules, man. People having a problem conforming with stuff. You know, no matter what aspect of life you in, and no matter where you at, you're always gonna have to have some rules somewhere in order. We can't just do what the fuck we want to do.
But that's what we're doing in this world.
That's what the fuck we're doing. A lot of us are. I mean, just because we feel it's right, and you know what we feel is right may not necessarily, you know, coincide with what the masses want. You know, so if you didn't participate in voting, or you know whatever that governs the sets the law or whatever, you don't get to fucking do what you want to do. You just don't. And you know, I get it, and I think it stems from, you know, that video we just watched a second ago. Whenever we get to
Hold
that,
on, yeah, we're not.
yeah,
So we're right
get to
now.
that.
You aren't there right now. We're talking about that the New York subway, the dude who tossed smoke bombs and started shooting and didn't kill anybody.
Was that really a black guy?
Yeah.
The fuck? Y'all know something fucked up we out here doing.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I wonder about like his background. Did he have any military experience? All that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
he had a lot of misdemeanors.
Okay. Okay.
Really? What
Yeah,
kind of misdemeanors?
nothing. I mean, nothing that would really. I don't know how many he had, but I know he had quite a few from
Uh-huh.
back in the day.
Yeah.
There he is, right there.
Yeah. And so I mentioned that because, again, man, bro, pressure bust pipes, and that's all we are as
Shit, there we
individuals.
go. That's
Is
what
a
I'm
pot.
talking about.
You know what I'm saying? And you never know when that little piece of pressure, what they say, the straw that broke the camel back, comes into play. And that I could just imagine that was his situation. How do you just wake up and say, I'm about to do something to the magnitude if he did? You know what I'm saying? But again, was it to kill or was it for attention? What was it? Was it what they call blacking out, whatever the hell? You know, it and again, that New York. Okay, so you asked about the effects of the COVID,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
that part. So I remember because I pay close attention to detail, as you all know, and our listeners, if you don't know, you realize. So I realized when COVID first started and they did the lockdown, how domestic violence shot out of the roof.
Well, yeah, you get locked up with that bitch forever.
Now think about this. This is people that's
Child abuse,
Yes,
domestic violence, all of it
this.
shot through the roof.
And it wasn't just male female, it was a lot of female male. And so we talk about
Mm.
change, right? And before the lockdown, man, people, couples, they would probably go to a bar, you know what I'm saying, just to they get off at 5 and go to that bar for 3 hours, come home, and they can deal with that home situation.
But not just that. I mean, you got people working from home now. So you had him going to work, you had her going to work,
Yes.
you had kids going to school.
Yes.
Now you got whoever staying at home, sitting there messing with this kid, and then not going to work and doing work on a screen while dealing with the kid. And you got this guy who's in there, this person, let's call him person one, person two, because I don't want to say who's taking care of the kid or not.
Of course.
But one of them's taking care of the kid and working, the other one's working. Maybe well, crap, something's going on. Oh, well, y'all are too loud. I'm on a conference call. It doesn't matter what it is. And next thing you know, it's, fuck you, no.
Yeah. So
Yeah. And the kid gets it. Kid's getting
most
whacked
definitely.
around because he's not paying attention to
Most
his computer screen. And
so in essence, what you just said is what I was going to. Now you have these couples, married or not, that was allowing themselves a break from each other, and now they have to be together all the damn time.
24/7.
You understand what I'm saying? It's not like
And that little shit that came out of her.
Yeah, it wasn't just no problem that
That's a
he
little
just
shit.
started because of the lockdown. The problem already was there. It's just that they was faced with it and had to deal with it. And
Well, they had outlets.
exactly
All their
but
outlets
whatever.
were gone.
And then you think about the kids. Then parenting really kicked in. And I thought about how many parents send their kids to school just as a daycare to get away from them. And that's no bad thing. That's not a bad thing, I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But at this time, now you're faced with parenting 24/7. There is no school. There is no playground. There's no going outside playing with your friends.
There's no McDonald's playground where you
Yeah.
toss them in there and let them wear themselves out.
So again, now we're forced with all these pressures of being in these environments in your home where you have no escape. Domestic violence shots up. All this other shit shoot up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. So we had the Brooklyn shooting. The guy. I posted the link in the deal. Obviously, I mean, Ukraine is Ukraine.
Oh,
they
man.
blew up a ship of Russia. Russia's saying, no, it's sinking because of something. That shit's hilarious.
And so I thought about that because that was very peculiar to me. So I was watching the news and they said how this Russian ship was there was a missile hit it right from Ukraine, right? But when it was time to report the actual thing from the aspect of Russia,
Oh, yeah.
they said it wasn't a missile,
Right.
it was just smoking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that it had a mechanical issue.
Yeah,
but yet it's sinking.
So when it come to war, who determines? You know what I'm saying? Like who?
Well,
who
Russia's
regulates
going
this?
to put their propaganda on it. We're fine, and Ukraine's gonna, if Putin were to trip over a crack, Ukraine to be like, yeah, we made that crack happen. We made that crack in the sidewalk so that
Okay.
he'd trip over it.
Okay.
You know, and Russia's obviously no, that was done because of the tank rolled over it and I tripped over it. Russia, you know,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter. The point is y'all have we now know that Russia has a horrible fucking military.
Oh,
Because they should have massacred
quickly.
Ukraine. I mean,
You
they
would
thought it
think.
was like 3 days.
You
Well,
would
we're
think.
months into this
Yeah,
thing.
and they're
You
not
looking
winning.
like a fool.
They're not winning.
And now we have world leaders going into Kiev, which is like, fuck you, Putin. You're such a pussy. We don't think you can fucking come here. So we're going to go ahead and visit. You know, obviously Biden's not going to go because there's a security thing and they're very big. But, you know, the UN's gone. The EAU's gone in there. Britain's gone in there. All these different leaders have gone into Kiev like, hey, you know, it's so safe that Boris Yeltsin from Britain can go into Kiev. It's like, dude, seriously?
You know, thinking about that whole thing with Russia, and I feel like Putin has the Napoleon complex. Like, I don't know how.
Well, we
You
talked about
feel?
that. No, we talked about that.
You
How,
feel like it?
yeah.
I really do, man. Like, that's the first thing come to mind. Like, he's a little dude, you know what I'm saying? Had a little bit of power. Now he want to exercise.
He's a
it, and
chihuahua.
and he's living in a total fantasy.
Yep.
A total fantasy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's a chihuahua that picked on a smaller chihuahua, but then that smaller chihuahua transformed into a Rottweiler and is now whooping that chihuahua's ass. That's basically what it was like.
That is
Power Rangers.
fucking embarrassing.
It's like Power Rangers. You know, the 4 rings come together to make one. It's like that is what happened to Putin. Like, hey, you know, we're gonna combine. Now we're like super chihuahua.
Yeah.
You know, 400-pound chihuahua just kicking you in your balls.
Right. Yeah, shout out to Mike.
Shout out to Muscle Mike out here
Office?
live from DeSoto.
Are we talking
Texas,
about going
man.
to the office? I'm doing work. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, no, so I had a
Yeah.
client who sold his
Appreciate
company. This
that,
is just
baby.
kind of a little
Appreciate that, Muscles.
side thing, but he had sold his company for like $3 billion. Now he didn't get all $3 billion. He got like 1.5 billion.
Okay.
Sold the company. I was doing work at their house in Tyler,
Hmm.
and I was over there showing him how to use the remote control. And we were talking about some other things, and I had heard about it. I was like, "So, I mean, you're just gonna retire and sit around the house?" And his wife in the other room goes, "Oh hell no! I made him get an office." And I was like, I looked at him. He goes, "Yeah, she got me an office." I'm like, "What are you gonna do?" He goes, I said, "Well, what are you gonna do?" And she from the other room, she goes, "I don't care what he does, but he will not be here all day." And I was like, "What? No." He was like, "She got me an office. I'm just going over there and do it."
Ah,
So it is funny that we were forced into something like that.
yeah. Evolution. Evolution. There's two essentials in life, and listen to me when I say this. I don't tell anyone anything, but two inevitables in life: change and death. And if you have a problem with either of those, you might want to seek some type of understanding, counseling, because it's gonna happen. And I see this world change around us every day, bro. And a lot of people can't handle it.
Yeah.
They can't handle it.
So let's go into this Patrick Loyal. How do you say that?
Well, hold on,
L-Y-
hold on. That was an
Loyola.
interesting
Loyola.
fact to kind of tag on to what you're saying. People not dealing well with the change. They
Mhm.
said over. Damn, let me get the percentages right. I didn't brought up the point.
Take your time.
Let me get the percentages right.
Hold
It
up.
said, "Suck it up, Buttercup." Yeah, suck it up, Buttercup. It
You
said,
know that's where I land on it.
right,
some things you
60% of people never move out of their same area code
In their lifetime?
in their lifetime. They end up
I can see
staying
that.
in the
Well,
same
yeah, but-
area code, which tells you people have 70%.
70.
Don't
But look
move.
at you. I mean, with the exception of going off to the NFL, you came home.
I'm still home.
I mean,
I'm down
yeah.
for
All
it.
right.
I mean, Mafio, he's the exception. I'm the exception. Mine has more to do with military than it does
Yeah,
anything
y'all
else.
belonged here.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
So, but for most people, it's about family.
Mhm.
Where's
Yeah.
your family at?
get it.
Where are your people at?
Yeah,
That's really more of
the predictor, the predicator.
right. I think people you'll always notice. I mean, like myself, I have very little family. Well,
Mhm.
I mean, besides kids. I mean, I don't talk to my dad.
What about us?
Everybody else has passed away. Yeah, I mean, but I'm talking like blood.
Biological
You family. We're golfing together, by the way. We're on the same team on Monday.
Ooh, I hope we got
Uh,
2 other people.
Supposedly we have somebody who's pretty good. He's another
Great.
former player, I think.
No, he gonna be mad at me.
Yeah, and I think we're looking for our fourth. But I think that's really the main deal to that. So, all right.
Moving
How do you
on?
pronounce the name?
Loyola.
Lyle. Patrick Loyola.
Loyola.
Now, you had a chance to
Loyola.
watch the video. So before we go too deep into this, it's Kenny Gant's golf tournament up in McKinney on Monday. I'll get with for Michael. I'll get with Vaughn, and we'll if there's an open and you can play, we'll talk about that later today.
Yeah.
So shooting. Let's just end with. I mean, obviously, right now there are protests going on. Do you think there should be protest mafia? You watch the video.
What type of protest? You mean marching and walking and
Okay, you think it should be what do you tell me? What you got?
I think we should come up with
Burn the motherfucker down?
I think we should come up with a public court outside of the US judicial court.
So the the cop's guilty of murdering him.
I'm not saying nobody's guilty of nothing because I don't feel at liberty to make that distinction because I haven't watched the full video. I don't know exactly what went
All right.
on, but I
So
think it
Vaughn
should
and
be
I did
left to
together.
the people instead of the judicial court. I think it would be.
But remember, it's always left to the people.
It's
It's up
never
to the
left to the
people.
people
Yep,
when
it's
you're in the
always
court.
left to people. All you got to do is vote them out. It's always left to the people. That now we can go round and round about it. It's always if you're electing these boo boo ass people to be your DAs, these boo boo ass judges, then it's the people who are
Not the
allowing them.
kinfolk.
Yeah, that shit is crazy to me. How these people even stand on. So basically, Vaughn, you watch the video. I watched the video. Number one, nobody ever deserves to die. That is 100%.
No.
Guy's in the car, gets pulled over. His license plates conflict with the car.
Okay.
It's almost as if somebody else took somebody else's
Okay.
license plate and put
Yes.
them on car.
Yes.
Now, whether it was his fault or not, I mean, you might have gotten jacked. Somebody else swapped your license plate for you. You know, as a police officer, you don't know what's going on.
Mhm.
So he asked the guy for his driver's license. He asked him why. What he advised him. Hey, man, your license plates.
Mhm.
And the guy gets out of the car. Wasn't asked to get out of the car. Gets out of the car.
Yes.
Cop asks him to get back into the car. He refuses to get back in the car, then decides to have a little scuffle and flee from the police officer.
Mhm.
Police officer attempts to tase him. Obviously, he's not very good with his taser because he misses.
He grabbed it.
Not
Then,
once, but twice.
Right. And then the guy was grabbing his taser. I think the second time was after he was grabbing the taser.
Okay.
They're sitting there wrestling around. And eventually the cop pulls his gun and shoots him. Nobody deserves to die. I don't understand what anybody in this day and age thought was going to happen. If you resist a police officer, it's not as if they're just going to be like, all right, well, you can go home. If you run away from a police officer, it's not like you can it's over with. Oh, okay. Hey, you're cool. I don't want to go to jail. Okay. Not sending you to jail. I don't want a ticket. Oh, okay. I never understood, and please, with these comments, Michael and fucking two Michaels. Michael.
Yeah, we got Muscle Mike and we have Big Mike, aka Pool Party Mike.
Oh, pool party Mike. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
pool
that's
party
Pool
Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The life of the party. Yeah.
I don't understand what anybody thinks is gonna happen if you get pulled over, a cop asks for your driver's license, and you say no when they have a probable cause. We know because of the license plates. What do you think is gonna happen? You think cops gonna let you go? What you got, Mafio? Mafio giving me that motherfucker. What the?
I can't say what I think is gonna happen because I can never see myself getting pulled over and getting out of the car first and foremost. So that part.
Right.
But I fast forward when you were describing the whole thing, and my thing is okay, with everything that happened up until when the officer's gun was pulled out, did you have to shoot him in the head? You see what I'm saying? Like,
but you're wrestling with somebody.
get
I
that.
mean, I'm with you. So you take a good example of the Michael Brown, what happened in
Yeah,
St. Louis.
yeah.
You know, everybody said he had his hands up, and remember, Obama's attorney general went in there. They reviewed the autopsy. Come to find out, he didn't have his hands up. Everybody who said he had his hands up completely recanted that he had his hands up. Everybody's like, well, no, he really didn't. So, and they do know that he was charged in police officer. And again, I don't think that that was different. Loose cigarettes was in New York. I don't think, bullying, which he did bully that little dude at that gas. Nothing that Michael Brown did deserved for you to die.
Mhm.
But in the end, well, a taser, but as a police officer, knowing that other police officers just get randomly shot or try to pull somebody over and get shot, that is the most dangerous time for a police officer is actually a traffic stop. And that, most dangerous time for a black driver is just getting pulled over in general. But I agree, he didn't deserve to get shot in the back of the head. But what was the cop, the guy sitting there wrestling with him? Yeah, comply with the process and go home. 99.999% of the time, that is exactly what happens. But the idea that ask for your driver's license, what for? You get out of the car. You've already, as soon as you get out of that car without being asked to get out of that car, you have put that cop on crazy alert.
Go ahead.
Whichever one be crazy.
It makes
Whichever
me wonder,
one be crazy.
It makes me wonder, do we go over certain procedures with our children and people? Do people even know the proper procedure? What in the whole entire world made you get out that vehicle? I'm just trying to fix that in my mind. What made you get out of the car? Period.
What made you grab the taser? What made you?
Because now we're not complying at all.
We're
doing some more shit right now. We're doing some more shit. Once you get out and you start, conversing with this police officer, you already resisting right now. And so I don't know where we're going with this at this point. I don't know why people feel like we can talk cops down at that point. You done already broke procedural rules right now at this point. And I'm not condoning anything that happened after that. But like you said, what do you think is going to happen after that? It's damn sure going to be some type of excessive force being used. Once you turn your back and run, you are now evading, or you are now evading the original traffic stop.
Well, and he had already grabbed the taser once at that point.
Saying when he took off running, did he give him his license?
No.
No, they
shit. What the fuck he want that? I'm just trying to. I don't understand. I really don't understand that. Everything that happened after that, the final shot that went in. I don't know how we got to that point, but I'm just like,
Or they were wrestling. And
Yeah, how did we
again, I
get to
disagree
wrestling?
with deadly force. I mean,
Yeah,
that I disagree with shooting him. I mean, he was on top of him on his back. You know, I disagree with shooting him, but as a sensible person, you have to look at everything that took you to that point.
right.
You know, what got you there? And you auto had that cop. You know, this isn't the George Floyd where you had complete control. The dude was basically fucking hogtied. You had complete control of that situation. There was absolutely no reason for you to stay on top of him.
Mhm.
You know, you got the Minnesota police officer where the guy runs to his car, reaches into the car, 3 kids back. I didn't know until months later that dude lived. He's in a wheelchair,
Mhm.
but and there was a knife in the floorboard of the car. So, you know, did he really need deadly force? Well, I don't know. So let's say obviously he was prepared to stab or do something. What if he'd have killed the kids, you know, lashing out? Because I think they were uh, whatever. Then we all been like, why didn't you do something? So a lot of police officers are damned if you do, damned if you don't. New York right now with the subway shooting, there were no cops on site. So now it's like, well, you know, you people wanted us to get rid of, you know, you wanted us to take money from the police department and from the DA, and you wanted us to apply it into social programs, which means there's less police officers. And now you're saying, well, where were the cops? The cops
You
are out
don't
there
get to
running your
have
social programs. That's what they were doing.
you don't get to have your peanut butter and jelly all the time. And
Same
I don't
thing.
think people understand, the ramifications of things. We want people to be in place and things to be in place when we want them to. Only when it
Right.
fits our situation. And it
Well,
doesn't
and
go that way. You see it happening everywhere. When you cut back and something happens, just going to Papa Do's the other day, we wondering why we standing up waiting in the bar. Ain't nobody at fucking work. You know what I mean? Nobody's there.
People
You
want it
forget
the way they
somebody got to
want.
go to fucking work. At the end of the
Psychology
day,
101.
yeah, psychology one cause and fucking
well,
effect.
but 9/11 was the same deal. You know, we all wanted to know, well, how did you not know? Well, everybody wants their privacy. Then Obama was like, well, fuck y'all's privacy. Well, no, actually,
Ooh,
Bush put
Bush.
it into effect. Obama left it there, and Obama's the one that got in trouble for it because he allowed it to keep happening. The NSA basically listening to everything and storing everything. So, you know, before 9/11 or at 9/11 when it happened, they were like, well, how can you let this happen on American soil? Well, you want your privacy. We can't just butt into your lives constantly. You know, and then it was like, well, now we're going to start butting into your lives since you're bitching about it. And then, you know, during Obama is when it all came out of what the NSA is doing. And it's like, why are you looking at my privacy? Bitch, you can't have your cake and eat it too. What do you want to be safe? That's just like TSA. I do not mind getting searched by TSA, but if I'm on a plane that runs into a building, I'm gonna be pissed. There better be no fucking hijackings. I would be utterly irate if I have to go through all that shit and a plane gets hijacked. I'm gonna be pissed.
either which way, we dying on that motherfucker.
I'm
I'd
still
be
gonna be
damned.
pissed.
I'm gonna ride that motherfucker down fighting.
Yeah, that's right. Um,
Ah,
and so that's the same thing. You know, we had the what happened in Georgia at the Burger King. Guy was drunk in line. They had him pull the car over. You know, he fired the taser at the cop, and the cops killed him.
Was that Burger King?
he
or
fired a
Popeyes?
what? He fired a taser at the cop.
He took the taser away from the cop,
Oh,
fired it
okay,
at the
there we
cop,
go.
had it over like this, and fired at the cop. And everybody was like, "Why'd you shoot him?" Okay, somebody who is drunk, prepared to fight the police, which he really got that fucking cop. He whacked him a few times. Prepared to shoot a taser. You just want to let him go into a neighborhood. So you shoot him, he dies. Everybody's mad at the cop. You let him go. He's desperate. Goes into a house, kills somebody. Then you're like, why didn't you stop him? Well, I had one choice. I could shoot him or I could let him go. I let him go. He murdered somebody. I shoot him. Y'all are pissed. Again, I don't know. Most of the police departments, you know, say center mass. I don't understand why we're shooting people in center mass. You know,
Go ahead.
direct
I'm
in the
waiting.
chest.
I'm waiting.
I
I'm
mean,
waiting.
let's take
Patiently.
out some limbs. Let's take out
Well,
some
you
legs
probably
and
got a
shit.
better percentage chance of hitting somebody in the middle if you're aiming for it, you know.
Okay. And again, I was just waiting because every situation you were talking about, I get to the very end of it, the very end to where that finger is moved from the side of the gun to the trigger and the aim. Bro, just hit him in a vital organ. If he died from that, cool. But a headshot, yo.
And we would have to watch. I mean, truly watch that video.
And I'm speaking any situation
Yeah.
where police was in a shooting situation, bro. Do you have to shoot in the head? Do you have to shoot 5 times, 3 times? It don't take that much, bro.
Yeah, I think his was a single shot. He was on his back. Again, I'm with you.
If we talking
I'm
about
with you.
force, that's excessive.
He didn't have a
if you
gun,
ask me.
and the guy
even
didn't have a
if he
gun.
even if he
Oh
did.
no, guy has a gun. I mean, if you have a perp that's sitting there, you have the thing that happened right here in Grand Prairie where that dude was coming out of that building. 2 cops walked up. Dude reached into his backpack and just starts firing shots at the cops.
Okay, a visible gun. Yes. Oh, okay, a visible gun.
Oh no,
But
a visible gun that he then fired.
I mean, he fired. He asked to get hit in the head. You understand what I'm saying? But even
Right.
if you don't hit him in the head, hit him somewhere where he's down, bro.
No, I'm with you. You know,
To
Just hit him
ask
when
you,
he's
Yeah,
down.
just
Michael Brown, take out. If that dude's running at you, you're the same size as Michael Brown. I didn't know that either. But the cop who shot Michael Brown, who was charging him, they were the same size. So that was a big fucking cop. So number one, he's running at you. He's 20 feet away from you. You can empty an entire clip at the lower half of his body. I promise you. I hope you have some sort of, fucking.
But you have to take situations, in my opinion, in my most humble opinion, you have to put situations into perspective and see if you can find some type of way to make it relate to something in your life where you can understand. You know, I think that's what we do. So with my heavy sports background, okay, you think about how many things happen within 2 or 3 seconds. The ability to process something in that amount of time is hell, but it's a whole nother thing to process that when somebody's life is on the line. You don't know what the fuck somebody's going to do at that point.
Correct.
That is an incredibly tough job for a cop, but just from a person standpoint, if somebody rushed up in your house, okay, somebody rushed up in your house, how many of us are going to stop and ask who the fuck you are when we got a gun in our hand? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck am I? Bitch, I'm pop. You know what I'm saying? We don't.
He's up.
Our human instincts take over first. I don't give a fuck how much training you got. Your human instincts are going to take over. Your survival instincts take over first.
And even if you yelled police, I'm half asleep, half awake.
Yeah, man.
All I might have heard was pee. I don't know what the fuck I heard.
Yeah, man.
It's on, motherfucker.
You come at me, dog. You spit on me. You slap me, motherfucker. I'm blacking out. I promise you, it's not gonna be this algorithm.
we got Bond fired up.
I'm losing it.
Yeah.
I'm losing it, dude. You come up in my house. I don't give a fuck if I have a gun in my hand, bitch. I'm gonna charge you. And I'm not thinking about me where the fuck I'm getting shot at. I'm not thinking about none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Your first thing is to survive the incident first. And I don't think some of us are going into these situations trying to fucking survive. When you got out the car and turned around, your survival rate went down. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
You 50-50 now.
Yeah,
That's
now
it.
we 50-50
50-50.
No, you about
No,
23.
50-50 because
You
the cop.
you about 23-7.
I'm fine with that.
60.
Yeah, he's 50-50. He might be 20-80 now. I was like,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, nigga, what the fuck? It just don't make sense to me. If we're gambling, all of us have been to the casino before. We don't play games or do anything in life that we don't have great odds at. We're not even looking at odds. This motherfucker just got out the car. It was like, look, if that was my son, man, I was like,
Stop, drop, and roll, motherfucker. Stop,
I
drop, and
just
roll.
don't. I don't know what this. I don't even know. I would be so fucking hurt, man. It's like, what the fuck were you doing? You know, and we got to stop and ask ourselves. You know, I'm not condoning all the stuff on the back end. I don't know what the fuck happened, but just from face value, like, why the fuck did you get out the car? Like,
Well, and there's so many instances like that. Michael Brown's an instance. The cop, he basically, you literally fought in the car with the police officer and then got away from the police officer. Police officer gets out of the car and then ends up, he ends up coming at him. He ends up shooting him, killing him. You have all of these incidences where, it's like, and I've never understood that argument. What the fuck do you think's going to happen? I'm pulling you over and you have an arrest warrant. I don't want to go to jail. Okay. I won't take you to jail. It's not going to fucking happen. If you, I don't understand how you get there. How do you get to the point where you're like, the police officer has stopped me and told me I'm going to jail, but I'm going to say I don't want to go to jail. Well, it's not really, going to jail is not an option.
Okay.
man, at some point,
I want to.
I think we can wrestle and argue about everything. It's like, dude, once the cop then started, once they didn't started, talking to you and you didn't got into this dialogue, we are now fucking engaged at some point. You can't just get up and say, all right, just, like we're in a chat room or something. What the fuck are we really doing?
I'd like to bring to
Come on, Mafio, give
the
me some
attention of
juice.
everybody.
Give
And
me
this
some
was just
juice.
my observation from seeing the video the first time. Okay.
And
Now,
that's what we want. I want
and
to hear what you got.
I know we are all on this podcast thinking of putting ourselves in a situation. Okay.
Yeah.
But when I initially saw the video, I
Mhm.
immediately looked at the gentleman. I'm from the west side of Chicago.
He's from the Congo, by the way.
I'm from the west side of Chicago. I grew up with a drug addict dad and a whole bunch of family members and community members. The first thing I said is, this guy looks high. So when you talk about why would you get out the car, I'm wondering, was he high? That was my first initial thing. Not saying that's a justification to anything, but if y'all want to understand why someone get out the car, pay attention to his face and think about anybody you know on drugs and knowing that drug is a mind altering thing. That's how you can stay in the car, and he possibly couldn't. That's
What
first.
what do you think he was high on?
It don't matter.
But
It
so-
don't matter.
So
Weed
He
don't make
was
you do
under
that.
the influence. He was
Weed
under the
don't make you do
influence.
that.
Hey, but
no,
you
we
but do you-
would have
okay,
made him stay in the car and take a nap.
Okay,
Yeah.
but what you know about LSD? What you know about crack? What
Okay,
you know about
Right,
cocaine
exactly.
and
He was
Molly?
on
We
some of
don't
that
know
heavy.
about
He
that
was on
kind of
some of
stuff.
that heavy
But
shit.
Mafio.
Yes.
So I know you got other points, but I
Go ahead.
I'm gonna
right here.
speak
Say
each
here.
one of them.
Yes, let's take them one at a
So
time.
the drug side of it, I mean, we have seen many a times, whether it's police, whether it's anything, I have seen drug addicts who will kill, who will fight to the death, who will take their child and put them in a washer, take their child, put them in a dryer.
Mhm.
The deal that happened in Houston where the girl literally washed and dried her baby because he was dirty. Yeah, that was like 15, 16, 17 years ago. I guess the baby had a dirty diaper. And she was so high, she stuck him in the washer and
my
then dried
God.
him. But
Fucked up.
so
That's
even
pretty
if he
fucked
is
up.
high,
Mhm.
you don't know what he's going to do.
Mhm.
Is the cop supposed to say, okay, well, you're high, I'm going to leave you?
No, and I thought about that. I thought about that when we had the comment, and please pardon my mind, the comment, comply and you can go home. At that point, when that guy got out the car, it's not the typical, it's not a set standard or blueprint of you comply with this how this go. At this point, the cop has to make a judgment. I get it, because the everything has changed at this point, but it's on the cop to make these choices and decisions, like when Vaughn mentioned being an athlete and having to make these quick second decisions. You know what I'm saying?
But his original decision, and you can see it. So you got to remember, you said watch the video that his friend shot, but the primary video is his body cam keeps going until they're wrestling on the ground, and then you have to go to the friend's video. But you know, again, he tried to de-escalate. He tried to tase. Again, he didn't deserve to die. Nobody's saying that. You know, so I don't I don't I get what you're saying, but I don't know. You and I have talked about de-escalation. These cops are horrible at de-escalation.
Mhm.
Right.
And for anybody who says that a police officer's on the edge, well, if you're on the edge, you need a different fucking job. You're not very good at this one.
Well,
because,
I just don't see it that way, man.
but
Any
I've
conflict,
known so many cops in my life
right? But I'm
who will
saying you have
approach
to
a
come to the.
situation.
You still have to come to you. There's a certain level of fucking aggression for every job. Okay, in conflict resolution, I'm not walking. It's like when you're dealing with a lot of people. Yeah, you're gonna have a little bit of aggression, but you also have to be a
Right.
naturally aggressive person too. It's like
But you train. So let's take you as an example. You every time you prepared for a game, you watched film and you trained of who the person was going to be and how to react. Muscle reaction, right?
Mhm.
That's what you did every week. Is that correct, Vaughn? It was
you played it over several times in your mind before it happened.
right.
Yes.
So this is where I see a problem with police officers. We don't have police officers that are committing de-escalation to memory. They're committing pull my fucking gun and said, 3 shots in center
Well,
mass,
I
but
also
they are
think,
not committing to muscle memory de-escalation,
but to add
de-escalation,
If
on
I
to
may,
de-escalation.
if I
but to
may,
add
yeah.
on to it though, you have people that are working in areas that they're not familiar with the people. You don't know how these people move over here. And so everything is foreign to you, and now you're jumpy. Like in my area here, we got a police force full of white folks. Man, ain't nobody white stay over here. Not on my street. I got one white person stay on my street.
And that was
Okay.
by accident. They didn't know what
No,
happened.
and they cool people, and they're good, they're cool people. But what I'm saying is, for the most part, the people that's coming over here that's working these streets, I don't know how long they've been working over here, but when you see traffic stops, you never see a brother or a sister pulling over the black folks over. It's always white folk. And so what that's telling me is that, one, from face value, they don't look like the people that's over here. So maybe there's a great chance that they don't understand these people. And we have people going into these traffic arrests, or traffic stops rather, and they're already jumpy. And it's no different if I worked in Highland Park. Fuck, I look at them crazy too.
They
I'm
see
looking
your ass getting out of the car. They're
right,
gonna drive off.
right. They looking at me and I'm looking at them. Like, what the fuck are you looking at me for? So there's a level. There's so many different levels to traffic stops and just police serving warrants and all that type of stuff.
Avon, pardon me 1 second. I wanted to touch on the point you told
I
about.
seen your finger. I'm sorry. I kept going.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Just out of respect. I just wanted to touch on the point where Zach mentioned about the training and all this as an athlete, right?
Yeah.
And you come to the training for police officers. I'm sure they go through plenty training, but I think the end result to their training is
Shoot.
at the very
It's a documentary on
shoot.
Netflix.
My point exactly.
You have to re-qualify to shoot a motherfucker, but you don't have to re-qualify to de-escalate a situation. What the
Okay.
fuck?
That
What
shit
kind of
crazy,
common
ain't
sense
it?
does that make?
Okay, now think
There's
about
a Netflix
think
deal
about-
made by BBC.
Think about this concept. As an athlete, you're competing.
Mhm.
I look at the same thing in a traffic stop. Now there's a competition going on. There's a meeting of two, right? And it has to be resolved. All right. And so in sports, football, for instance, you commit a foul, you get a flag, there's some type of repercussion or penalty. Okay. Like these cops come out here and there is no repercussion, a consequence for
Keep
them.
jailing them
This-
motherfuckers. They will be.
But they're not being jailed. And you talk about
We have cops that are now. I mean, we have conviction of police officers now. It is. I watch the news plenty. There are plenty of cops that are going to jail for hell. We just had the dude in Dallas who got in massive trouble because he commit. What did he do? He used the power of his being a police officer to stop somebody. I mean, we're seeing it. And that's what needs to continue happening. But on top of that, why you should have to re-qualify on de-escalating. I mean, just 100%. They've talked, well, we're going to put a social worker with every police officer. Fuck that. That doesn't work. You can learn basic social services, de-escalation, and then continue to do continued education. You're in fiber. I'm in everything IT. We do, because if not, OSHA, it doesn't matter.
Everything.
HIPAA laws, they change constantly. OSHA certificate, you constantly have to why does the police officer not have to continuously, every 3 months, take a class, half a day?
Probably because there ain't a lot of people trying to be cops.
They are their own fraternity that lives by their own rules. They're separate from the common folk.
But we're seeing that.
And when in actuality, they're common people. Yeah. They're the same people that's going out here shooting up subways, doing all this other kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just that when they put that badge on and that suit, they're in a whole different world, a whole different fraternity that is not judged and set at the same standards than when they take the uniform off. And because they put on their superhero outfit, it changed. The world we live in, bro.
I mean, you see that.
I just don't get it. And then we talk about conflict resolution. You just mentioned about putting a social worker in the car with a cop. How about put the cop in the fucking social workers class that they took to get certified? You understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of them go out here to manage a situation and they can't even manage themselves, apparently. And their end result is shoot to kill. What about, I said, come on, man, that's your best conflict resolution. Imagine if that was your mama. Like, you really had to pull your mom over, and everything that happened in all these situations was your mama. You gonna shoot your mom in the head? Real shit.
Hell no, I'm
real shit.
I'm with you.
Everything we talking about, people's rebuttal. All our listeners, think about it. Yeah, comply with the situation and everything. You're the cop, and your mom's the perpetrator in every one of these situations. You mean to tell me you shooting in the head, bro? Or ma'am?
Or center mass or anything.
It doesn't change. They're just protected.
Yeah, but we are actually seeing the cops. I mean, it's one of the things that's going on, like in Chicago. I told y'all, we know that cop in Chicago says, we just, why the fuck you on police anymore? You're just gonna go to jail. You're just gonna get in trouble for it. Why do it? That's what you're seeing.
What was that again? I'm sorry.
Why police anymore? What? Cops. I mean, you're in Dallas, and some guy. You go to a domestic violence and a gun's involved. It's like, man, do I really want to go to this call where this guy's got a gun? If I shoot him, I'm white and he's black. I'm going to be, I'm going to get.
Remember, you went to the damn police academy. You made the choice to be a police officer.
And now they're making the choice of, you don't like what I'm doing, then police yourself. I mean, you're seeing that a lot in Chicago. A lot of people want to know why the Chicago is so bad. It's because police officers are allowing the situation to fizzle before they ever show up on site.
Goddamn right.
They driving with the lights on, like, okay, they hearing all this over the radio. They got their gun out before they put it in park.
I don't know. You go to some of these shootings, I guarantee you would have your gun out before you hit park.
But then
I'd be driving my gun through a window.
So with that being said, so with that being said, you've already made up in your mind.
You mean that a shooting's happening, and I'm gonna come? You're saying if I'm a cop and I'm going to a shooting scene, I should walk out with my taser, going, "Where's everybody at?"
I'm gonna tell you what I'm saying.
Come on, Mafia.
These cops are going to these situations the same way me and Vaughn talked about carrying a gun. When you leave your home as a licensed carrier, you've already made up in your mind, bro, it's potentially gonna go down.
Well, you put on the uniform, it's potentially gonna go down, because that's what you do. Every call you go to, that's what it is. You never know. I mean, you have the traffic stop here in Texas where a DPS officer pulled over somebody, and dude didn't even say anything, just shot the DPS officer.
But that's That's the extreme. And see, we don't know everything that happened with that situation. Like most of these
No,
situations,
the whole
bro.
thing's on video. DPS pulls a guy over, guy pulls out a gun,
What
shoots cop.
What I'm saying is, you don't know what happened in the bar the night before because they knew each other and that motherfucker was looking for that DPS off. We don't know none of that. You
So it's
understand what I'm
okay
saying?
to.
I'm
Well,
not saying it's okay to open fire, but you don't know the
Right.
whole details of what happened. We just get what's given to us by the news, which is someone's narrative, which is it always correct. We don't always get the full details.
but there is no full detail.
more
If a
often
cop
than-
pulls somebody over and they just shoot him, there. I don't care what your full details are. I don't care what happened the night
Let
before.
me give you a scenario.
I mean, you should have shot him when he didn't have his uniform on, and it
Let-
wouldn't have been. I mean, that's an ambush. Would you agree or would you disagree? That's an ambush.
Let me give you an scenario, and,
All right.
and then I'll get back to if it's an ambush or not. All right, check this out. I'm a well-known drug lord in South Texas. Okay, I have cops on my payroll. We
Mhm.
have interactions. This cop pulled me over when we had a bad experience 2 days ago, whatever that experience is, and I got it made up in my mind. I'm shooting him on sight. Now nobody knows this, but me and you. I'm the perpetrator. I'm the drug lord. You're the cop. When I see you, it's on sight. So, bam, when you pull me over,
Not on
it's
sight.
over. So now,
So every cop that
now-
gets shot
so
by
now-
somebody is
just play-
has done
slow up,
something
slow-
wrong
no,
to the
all I-
person that shot them.
all I'm saying is we don't have all the information. We just get the narrative.
But I don't
from the-
need any information if you ambush a cop. If you went to his house and there were I don't know. But if you literally if a cop pulls you over and you shoot him, I don't care what happened before. I don't care what's going on. None of that should play into if it's okay for you. Just like it's not okay for a cop to pull out a gun and shoot a guy in the back of the head.
Well, you cross
It's
the
not-
scenarios. You cross the scenarios. Like even if we did get into an altercation the night before, we have now come into another scenario with another set of protocols and rules in it. Motherfucker, I don't give a fuck if we was fighting in the club. If this person is a cop and you are the person that is being stopped, you don't get out the motherfucking car. You have now broken another motherfucking rule because we are what in a different fucking scenario. It don't even apply. Those rules last night don't apply to the day. Yesterday's price is not today's price. You can't come in here and set another motherfucking price because it was the price yesterday. You know, you get where I'm going.
No, I'm with you. And we've had very few instances where compliance has ended up in a cop killing somebody. The guy who was
Right.
pulling his permit out of the glove box, the girl was on Facebook. She recorded the whole thing.
Minnesota
That might have been Minnesota,
with the Asian cop.
where he told the cop, I have a gun and I have a license to carry the gun. And he went to go get the
Oh.
license out of the glove box, and the dude shot him like 4 times.
Because again,
But no. And it's not, there's no again. That's a scary ass cop. He overreacted, and that is 100%. But you do not see the guy, this Patrick. I'm not gonna try that. What is it? Patrick what? Loyola? The last name?
Lyoya.
That right there was not compliance, and he was murdered. That whole instance. What Michael Brown is not compliance, and he was murdered. I do believe the New York guy selling loose cigarettes. There was no non-compliance there. Yeah, he wasn't fighting, he wasn't arguing, he wasn't doing anything, he wasn't being aggressive. That 100% was uncalled for. You know who I'm talking about? The loose cigarettes guy.
That was
Yeah.
choked by the cop today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. There was absolutely nothing that constituted that happening. You know, you very rarely, George Floyd had compliance the minute his hands were handcuffed behind his back and he was on the ground. Compliance was over with. Whether you want to claim it as forced compliance or not, he was in compliance at that point. So George Floyd is the exception. The guy with the glove box is the exception. But every time we hear about these police shootings, the guy that fell asleep in line at the drive-through, that decided to run. It's not compliance. Shooting the taser at the cop, that's not compliance. All of those things are not compliant. Very rarely have you ever heard of a guy getting pulled over. Let me see your license. Here's my license. Cop shoots him.
Hey, I just had a thought,
Mm.
and pardon the sidebar, and this is for all the listeners. You said the guy in the drive-through, right?
Mhm.
He was asleep, right?
That motherfucker was out.
He was
So-
sleeping in the parking lot, not in the
No, no,
drive.
In the drive-through.
No. He was
He was in
asleep
the
in the
drive-thru.
drive-through.
You talking about like in mid, like, hey, give me a
Yes,
number.
like about
Yeah,
to get.
yeah.
That's why they
Oh.
called the cops because he was
It's
blocking
sleep
the
in the dri-
drive-through.
Right. So with that same situation, take this
Oh, I
and
thought the
listeners,
motherfucker
take
was
this.
parked.
What's the difference with his situation and a no-knock situation when it comes to reacting?
Okay.
Wait,
No.
go
I
back,
got
go
you.
back, go
No.
back,
Time
go
out
back.
because obviously you haven't seen. So guys asleep in the deal. Cop goes and knocks on the window. Guy rolls down the window. Cop asks him, "Hey, I need you to pull over here." The cop allows him to pull his car into the parking spot. Cop pulls up next to him, asks him to get out, tell him, "Hey man, I need you to do." So he's got plenty of minutes to sit here. I mean, there's like 3 minutes before they start having a conversation about how, I think you're drunk, da 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 da. Then the dude decides to fight him. Completely different than getting. I mean, he don't get me wrong, he got woke up, but he was allowed to pull into a park. But he pulled into a parking lot,
I get it.
got out of his car.
I get it.
So it's not the same as
I get it. But
completely
that's still
different.
Did he
being
at least
woken
get
up.
his food?
Being waking up.
No, he did not get his food.
Being
He hadn't
waking
even
up,
ordered
he didn't-
yet.
But being waking up is the part that I was talking about.
Right.
Everything.
But
that
they
transpired from that.
literally were like, can you pull over here? And the guy
Yeah.
pulls over there, and guy gets out of the car, and they
Yeah.
talk to
Oh,
him
that's what I
about.
was trying to. So you making a comparison between somebody getting the no knock rule, somebody getting surprised and woke up at home.
Yeah, being woke up.
Yeah.
They
Because-
It's just
so
the
hold
point,
on.
It's just the
So
point of being
you are
waking up.
you are correct. He was shot in the back, but he was also shot with his hand reaching back, firing the taser at the cop. He was actually shot while he was reaching back. He was shot. So
we
the guy
still
was
talking about the
running
guy at
and
Burger
doing
King?
this. Yeah,
I think it was Popeyes, but
and they burnt
The
that
drive-thru
place
guy.
down.
So they got into a physical altercation from him waking up to him getting shot in the back.
well, yeah,
No,
there was
there's
some things
there's
that
a lot more to
He
it,
moved.
but-
He pulled.
Yeah,
he
I'm
was-
just
yeah.
glazing it over. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? though.
yeah. But
So
again,
that same incident, he got shot in the back. He actually got out of the car and got shot in the back.
oh, it went
It's
down.
Wendy's.
It was
Shit.
Wendy's. Okay.
I remember some of the story. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it
"Damn."
went down. But I'm not justifying any of this. Again,
Oh, he's been
listeners,
reinstated. too.
listeners, I am a psychological thinking, forward thinking, resolution thinking first person. And so I'm always paying attention to all the details, and it just don't add up all the time to me. And it get to the point where you don't know the full details of something that go on, and it's hard for me to put a feeling or emotion or reaction to it. I just try to look at the logistics of it, and I just think that a lot of times we don't
Yeah.
get the full logistics.
They were. I'm going to copy this and post it in the deal, but this
But
is
you
the
said-
cop sitting there talking to him like, "Hey man, we think you're drunk. Obviously, you fell asleep in the
Yeah.
deal. Yada yada yada." I mean,
Yeah.
this is a whole conversation.
But again, man, we have as police officers, I feel you have to manage the situation. At that point, you are given the responsibility to handle this situation, and just to shoot someone with a kill shot is the end result. I just cram to understand it. Just me personally.
So
I
in a-
just
in
cram
a-
to understand
In a
whatever
in
the
a kill
situation
or be killed scenario,
Different.
you shouldn't.
different.
Okay.
If someone is physically has a firearm or something like that, game
All right.
changes.
So
The game
let's
changes.
let's take this situation, and again, we're 2 minutes into this video, and they're still talking to this guy.
Yeah.
But in the reason, so this cop is actually a cop again, and that's because in the state of Georgia, a taser is considered a deadly weapon.
Mhm.
So let's say in this scenario that the cop hadn't shot, the taser would have contacted with the police officer. Now we already know he's prepared to shoot a taser at a cop. We already know he's prepared to beat the crap out of a cop.
How do we know that?
He beat the crap out of the cop. He fired a taser at the cop.
But how did you know that before you saw it?
He fired as the police officer. I fought him because that would be your reasoning as the police officer who fired the shot.
Okay.
He just fought me, tried to get my taser, got my taser, and shot my taser. So I obviously at that point I know. So let's just say the cop says, all right, man, I'm not, he doesn't shoot him. This guy ends up contacting with the cop, right? Cop goes down. At what point, if he's prepared to do all those things, are you just saying, but he's not prepared to kill a police officer?
I'll tell you, my point is everything that happened in any of those situations, when it's time for the cop to shoot, does it have to be a kill shot or does it have to be multiple times as a kill shot? Get him down, bro. Get him down. Think of your gun as a space handcuff. Just get him down, bro. Do you have to shoot a kill shot every time?
Now, I agree. I do know
my
what
only point.
I do agree.
That's
I know
my
what the argument for the cop's going to be. It's like, well, what if I don't? What if I limp him and then he does something else?
Bang him again. It's not
But
a kill
now-
shot, though. Not a kill
But that's
shot.
not a kill shot. So he's going to do even more, but it's not a kill shot.
At that point, you shoot him one time, you could get back over there with a taser. I mean, there's multiple ways that it could play out. My whole point is, does it have to be a kill shot initially?
How many times have
Initially.
you seen home invasions in a limb? Somebody getting shot in the limb. Just regular homes invasions without cops. Just people busting other people's house. How many times have
No,
somebody
they don't.
shot?
Yeah, no.
It don't fucking happen, man. It just doesn't. I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think our survival instincts kind of take over. They go over training. Even I don't give a fuck how much training we have. You're gonna lose. I don't give a damn how psychological we could go into these things. Who we are is gonna fucking come out.
But that's the video.
Somebody slap and spit on your fucking face. You're not gonna go through this whole goddamn line of hey, what if, motherfucker? It's on and popping, and we've watched several videos of cops also getting killed as well.
Okay, so now he's down. Pardon me, Vaughn.
No. That was it.
Is that from the link right there you just put up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's fighting. He gets the best
I can't
of him.
get to that.
Put the link.
You gotta
up,
put
Vaughn.
Hold on, man. Watch. You keep not watching. Fires the taser. Cop fires his gun.
Shot.
I will put it into. I keep forgetting about that, man.
Yeah, put it in. And so, again, I don't know where this guy was shot. I don't know.
What? In the back.
In the back.
Yeah, but you saw him. He was running with the taser like this.
Again.
No, I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you.
He was at least 15 feet away from the guy.
Man, you know how much far those damn things go?
15 feet with a taser?
Oh, yeah. You
Really?
can do 50 feet with taser. Those things.
I'm not familiar. I'm just asking, bro.
That's why they call him Spider-Man.
Hold on. I'm on mute. So hold on.
So they're talking to the guy after he's apparently pulled away. He's parked, and they're having a conversation with him.
Oh yeah, they have a whole. I mean, they ask him to pull over. He pulls over. He's sitting in the car. They have an entire conversation with this guy over like a 4 or 5 minute time. Look, man, you're going. I don't want to go there. I was coming from a birthday party because that's what did. He was coming from his daughter's birthday party.
Hey, can you give me my People Rebuttal podcast
Comments
over here, man? I want to see what my people talk about over here because we done overran our time. But this what happened when we having fun.
Up to 35
She
feet.
gets the
Yeah,
best of two officers.
it's 50 feet though.
Really? And I'm not familiar. And thank you, Manic.
Yeah, that's Jesse.
I wasn't familiar. I'm not familiar with tasers. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know they can reach that far. Like, but
yeah, you taught me something.
You know what I'm saying? And this is why we have the People's Rebuttal podcast.
Well, I don't plan on ever.
We're just sharing information, man. You know what I'm saying?
There we go. I don't plan on ever getting shot by one. But,
yeah.
Nobody ever plans on getting shot by one.
Shit, once you get out that car.
But there's a lot of resolution already made up in a lot of people's mind that says this is what I'm gonna do.
On both sides.
Again, it's the concept.
On both sides.
It's the concept. If I take my gun out of my home with a license to carry, I've already made my mind up that this is an option. Where some of these officers, they have that, it's not an option. This is part of the uniform. This is the resolution.
Well, like I've
But
said,
take the flip
I
side of
break
that.
what?
But take the flip side of that. You do also have people that's riding around saying that if I get stopped by a cop, this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
And I
Do
get it,
you
bro.
agree with me?
I get it.
They already playing this shit over in their mind. You know that if somebody stopped me, you know this motherfucker got something better to do than stop me.
Well, and I
So I
for
get out
me,
the
I
car
chalk
like
that
this
up
with my
to
chest open.
I chalk that up to bad decisions all the way around. I don't. I think you have to take every single incident. The Michael Brown, I am 100% with you. You could have taken out some kneecaps. You could have taken
said it
out. I
won't
mean,
work
you
on me.
had plenty of time. Matter of fact, when they found Michael Brown, he was still far
Bullshit.
away from where the cop was standing. He still had 20 feet between when Michael Brown went down. He still had 20 feet, which
To get
means
to
that
him.
fool was running from way back there because he didn't look like he as big as he was. He wasn't that good of a runner.
Yeah.
Which
So
one, Michael Brown?
yeah, you had plenty of time when he started charging at you to take out some legs and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. This guy, when they're wrestling
Absolutely.
with him on the ground, I think again, bad decisions. Yes, he had a ton of different options, but it's not like, you know, dude, I think you're guilty. You should go to jail for murder. You know, you have these incidents that happen and we can't look at them as, well, a cop shot somebody. We have to look at them as, oh, okay, what happened? Just like the deal in Atlanta. What happened? You know, is it okay? No. You could have made some better decisions.
Again, I get back to an
Said what?
easy resolution.
He said it
In
wouldn't
any
work
of
on
these
me.
situations, as a cop, put your mama as the perpetrator and off her with the.
But I don't like my mama. So
Regardless, hey, some
do you
people
know
don't
where that
like they
bitch is
mama.
at? I'll shoot
Hey,
her. No, I'm not.
And if you make that determination, it's cool. Oh, I'm just saying, put yourself in a situation. Listeners, put yourself in a situation. You're the cop, and whatever happened
And
in
my
any
mama
situation,
grabbed
your
the
mama
taser.
is your
Yeah,
mama is the perpetrator.
but my mama's now prepared to kill me.
Your mama is the perpetrator.
I can't imagine my mama. Well, I mean, she might kill me, but the point being, you can't do that because you know your mom. You know these
regardless.
You don't know some random dude.
Regardless,
the guy, this Patrick. You don't know what he's prepared to do. He's prepared to fight you. He's prepared to take your taser. You don't know if he's prepared to.
Oh shit! He's
cap
fighting
you
like a
in.
motherfucker.
Which one? The Atlanta?
Richard, yeah.
Oh yeah, he took out that cop.
Oh yeah, he asked for that ass. He asked for that shot in the back. I'm like, dude, he was beating some ass out here. He wasn't just like, dude.
All right, guys, we're way over our time.
Dude,
Thanks for watching, man. Catch us. Watch our outro video. You know, social media, Facebook. What's the other two?
Dude, what's
YouTube.
wrong with him?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Vaughn go keep watching that video.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
We'll see y'all Tuesday.
See you guys. Have a great weekend.